Hey, how are you doing? I'm just coming to do a really quick lesson today. It's only going to be about 20 minutes or so, where I want to go ahead and try and see if I can show you or do a second part to my circuit video. So earlier I did a circuit video where I showed you all how to create a circuit using wires, LEDs, some batteries. And so what I'm going to do is we're going to do a little virtual circuit making here. I'm going to see if I can show you how to make a circuit using the microbit. As I told you all, I probably told you earlier, the microbit is a small programmable board. Here's one right here. You can go ahead and connect it to your computer by USB. There's a little USB right here, and you can connect to your computer by USB. Write a simple computer code, download it to the circuit, and make it do a bunch of things. And so, just a few parts to this. You'll notice that there are two buttons for interface right here, and then along here there are these buttons. And if you connect binders to them or connect them some other way, you can actually send electrical signals through these little gold parts right here to make the your microbit do whatever you want it to do. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to use a software called Tinkercad, and it's what we call emulation software. What it does is it does an impression, or it does a simulation of a particular type of computer function. In this case, we're doing a simulation of the microbit. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to swap over here to my instruction string, and this is microbit. And let's go ahead and let's do some things so you guys can see exactly how it works. So I'm going to go over here to circuits, or program circuits here. And if you remember, during the last class, I made this little simulation of a basic circuit. Wait for that to come up. There we go. And I start the simulation, and this is basically a circuit that turns a light on and off. What I want to do is I want to get rid of some components here, and I want to create, better yet, you know what, let's start over from scratch. I don't want to waste any time redoing this. So let's start from scratch. So create a new circuit. Alright, and I'm going to go through trying to do this in a simulator. Now, I've never actually created a circuit in this simulator, this particular type of circuit in the simulator before. So I thought I'd try it out with you now, and you guys could see me succeed and fail. So here is a microbit. I could choose the color. The color doesn't make a difference. It's all about your personal preference. But I'm going to pick red for my microbit. I'm also want to make sure that I don't have a setup here. Yeah, let me take this filter off. I had a filter on here because I was using different software. Okay, there we go. So let's go ahead and just show you how the simulator works, how the microbit works. It's very simple. If I go up here, I have a microbit. If I click here where it says code, it's going to give me this interface where I can start putting together a code. I'm going to put together a really, really simple code. I'm going to say, with the basic, I'm going to say show icon, and that's a smiley face. I'm going to put it here on start. Right? On start, show smiley face, and then I'm going to say show me what else is available. Sad face, and then let's repeat that a few times. Let's repeat that. How many times should I repeat that? Let's go to control, and I'm going to repeat that 10 times. Boom. So I told it that when I start this program, I need to repeat 10 times, make a happy face, and then make a sad face. So it's going to go up and down 10 times to see what happens. I'm going to start the simulation. It plugs it in, and you can see right there, it's making the happy face and sad face. See, it's that easy to program with this interface. You know, you don't have to have a whole degree in computer science to do the simplest things, and even doing more complex things doesn't necessarily take a whole lot. So now that you can see that we can do that, we can do it quite easily, let's raise the stakes a little bit. Let's try something a little different here. So I want to create a light. I'm gonna stop the simulation, okay, and let's get rid of the code for now. And in order to create a light, I need a few things. First, I'm going to need an actual light that I can use. And so I'm going to scroll up here and I'm going to look for parts. Here's a LED light. I think I want my light to be white. Nah. Let's make it green. Got a green light. Okay. And the way this works is I take this and I am going to attach it to the bottom of my microbit. I do want to sort of turn this upside down. Let's see if I can. Oh, that's interesting. I can now pick different wire types. That's a change they made recently. I want to orientate this, or goes to my flip button. I want to orientate this and turn I want my lid to be sort of upside down, so I don't have to do all types of gymnastics to get it to where I want it to be. Okay, and I'm also going to pick a type of alligator clips, which I like alligator clips. And there are two sides. This straight side called a cathode. It might be a little hard to see the letters there, but it's called a cathode. Straight side called a cathode is a negative, and I'm going to take the negative and I'm going to connect it to ground. See, enter, boom. I'm trying to double click on it and finish, and it doesn't want to do that. Let's try it again. Okay, sort of changed the interface a little bit. It's a little stickier than it used to be. So now I can do like a I can do an omega beam. Interesting. Well, that's not what I want though. Let's try our regular connection. Oh, it's not what I wanted to do. All right. There we go. Okay, I see. I needed to just connect it to the edge there. So let's go back. Let's redo it then with the alligator clips. So I really like the alligator clips. Okay. So that's all I was doing wrong. I wasn't hitting it at the contact point. That's the contact point. Okay. So that's the ground. Okay. Scroll out a little bit. That's the ground. And now I want to do another one to the 0. Okay. So those are my alligator clips. Let me see if I can change the color. You can color code these. Red usually means positive and black means negative. I'm not sure what's up with that. So some racism stuff, but I'm not gonna get into that today. All right, that's a different class. Okay, so red is positive, black is negative, and that helps me to remember where those wires are connected to. And remember that the colors are not important. The colors don't do different functions. That's just to help you remember which leads to positive and which leads to negative, which is going to be really important when you start doing more intricate circuits. Okay, so now that I've got this plugged up, I need to write some code. And I need to write some code that says to turn the light on. So look here where it says input. I got all these input keys. I got variables. I got math. I got control, basic, output, I'm looking for blocks that I could use to show that we're going to turn on that LED. So I'm going to tell it to take pin 0. And I'm going to say on start, I want you to turn pin 0 to 1. Better yet, again, I'm going to say forever so I can see it stay on, all right? Because I don't want to miss it, all right? So right analog pin 0 to 1, all right? So let's see if that works when I start the simulation. Plugs in, and yes, you can see my light is green. Can I scroll down? Yeah, I can scroll down. So you can see my light is green. Wonderful. Okay, so I just made a very simple switch, but now what I can do is wish it were a little brighter so you can see it, but you can see once I stop the simulation it goes off. Let's see if I can make it flash. I'm going to go back here to output and go to where it says right analog pin, and I'm going to make it to 0. So just so you understand ones and zeros, in computer language and binary language, 1 means on and 0 means off. Makes sense, right? 1 is on, 0 is off. And so if I say set pin 0, and this is pin 0 right here, to 1, that means it should be on. If I say set pin 0 to 0, then it's going to be off. All right. So now let's see what happens when I start that. Let's see what happens. I got 1 and 0. Let's see what happens. It's dimmer, and it's on, but it's dimmer. And the reason it's dimmer is because it's going on and off, and it's going on and off really quick. All right. If I go ahead and I say, if I go ahead and I put a little stop in here, I'm going to say wait 1 second and then turn off. Now let's see what happens. You can see that it's blinking. It's sort of hard to see that it's blinking. Maybe I should change the color of my, maybe I should change this to white. Maybe it'd be easier to see. Let's see. Let's run that. Okay, it's a little easier to see that it's blinking, and instead of saying 1 second, let me say 2 seconds. Now, start the simulation. Oh, I know what's happening. Put this back at 1 second. I got a 1 second between the on and off, but I need another 1 second between, I don't need that, between the off and on. Now let's try it. And you notice that I'm trying different things here, and when you try different things you get different results. And so you never say I didn't do it right, I don't know how to do it. You always say I didn't do it right, what did I do wrong, or what code can I add to make it better, right? So you need to see now sort of blinking on and off. Is there another color I can use though? It just seems really, really dim. It's not as dramatic as when I'm doing it in real life. Okay, it's still blinking sort of dim. That's nice, but it works though. It's going on and off. All right. So now let's see if I can go ahead and give it a different type of signifier to make the light go on and off. I want to do something different. I'm looking for some kind of input where when it gets this information, it knows to do something different. Let's try this one on pin blank. Oh, that's interesting. That means I can add a switch to this, huh? Let's do this. Let me add a switch. Let's go here to where I can find, let's get rid of the codes for now. Let's find a switch. Let's do a slide switch. We'll do a push button switch. Okay. Now with the push button switch, what I want to do is I want to set it so that I have one part that goes to ground, and I got another part that goes to 1. Boom, like that. Okay, you see it's starting to get a little messy. This is what we were talking about earlier. And again, I think I want this part to be red because that's my signal part. Okay, only thing that should be going to black is ground. All right, so now that I got that set up, let's do this. Let's start the simulation. And based on my code, it is not doing anything because my code doesn't tell it to do anything. But what I'll say is I'm going to put this in here, and I want to say that when pin, I got to connect it to 1, right? It's connected to 1 right here. When pin 1 is pressed, to go ahead and flash. So let's try that now. We'll start the simulation, and it's on. I press it. Nothing happens. What did I do wrong? I'm going to hold this down again. Nothing happened. Okay, so let's see what I did wrong. Let's remove this. Maybe I should fix this. When pin 0 is pressed, when pin 1, on P1, when on pin P1 is pressed, so that means when I send a signal there, it should turn on. Maybe I got this connected to the wrong part of the button. These little push buttons, I got to be honest with you, I always get confused. So now instead of getting on these 2 parts, I'm checking on these 2 parts to see if that works. Okay. And let me put this back in there. Start the simulation. Okay, I got a light on. If I push the button, it goes off. Push the button. On or off. Push the button. On and off. Okay, so great. So that works. I push the button, the light goes on and off. Push it again. On and off. I could set it up so that when I push the button, it goes on and off more than once. If I go back here to control and say I just want you to repeat that process 10 times, just like we do with our smiley face. Stick that in there. Now when I push the button, oh, I just got to start the simulation. Okay, now let's try it. Push the button. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so I think that that covers it for today. We just took a microbit and stop the simulation. We took the microbit and I programmed to do something. Now, here's what's really great about that. As I said, the microbit is a real thing that happens in the real world. And if you join Coding Club, you're going to be able to use one of these. Right, you're going to get one of these in the mail from the after school program, and once you get one of these, you'll be able to program it yourself using your tablet, your cell phone, or your computer. What's great is that once you finish writing the program and making it work here on the computer, you can go up here where it says export, and you can actually download the program as we wrote it here. I wouldn't write it as a BRD account though. This is a microbit. We should be downloading it as a hex code, but we'll talk about that later. Okay, you see there it's starting to download, but again, I don't want to do that now. Do I have hex as an option? Just curious. No, I don't. All right, we'll talk about that later. All right, but that's basically how you go ahead and create a flashing light and using a microbit. It's a really simple program. Maybe next time we'll tackle doing the same program but then using servos. All right, again, that's been a quick lesson for today. Thank you guys for dropping by, and thanks for clicking on the video, and I want you all to have a nice day.